What?
You got a little
Are you my
bit.
producer?
I'm your producer, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
I gotta record fast.
Yeah, because the sun's going down. It's like almost
You know
down.
what? We are at the most beautiful little spot. It's called the East Verde River. We are back on the trail, headed southbound in the Mazatzal passage. We came in Doll Baby trailhead up to the trail, and oh, look at this. That's beautiful. We're gonna do this.
Yeah, see those mountains back there? We'll be up on top of them things. Yeah, up there and back. We'll be up there tomorrow.
There you go.
We'll be up there tomorrow. Huff and puff.
We've got when we take off in the morning, we've got 7 miles to the first water, and it is kind of up from the Verde. You know you're amazing? You are amazing.
I'm pretty amazing.
You know what? This guy is going to walk the Arizona Trail twice in almost a year if all goes as planned. I'm feeling better this morning. Yesterday was a rough day. You know, we'd had a couple weeks off trail, had a great visit with the grandkids when they came down. Love you guys. It was so fun. See some family. Then we kind of got through a cold. Oh yeah, my back went out. You know, a few little things. So we've been a couple of weeks off trail, and takes a bit to get going again. Yesterday I noticed I get in the camper all by myself, and it's really hard. Part of the grieving process, I guess. Last year, Mom, you know, I'm 5'9". Used to be almost 5'10". And my mom is like, she was just a little thing. She'd be sitting in the truck over there. We'd drop Daryl off. She'd be sitting over there in the passenger side with her Arizona Scenic Trail book. And then she would start her, okay, this is what he's going through, blah, blah, blah. This is where he should be probably getting water. And, you know, she was living the trip through her book. And I had to look over to try and see out the rear view mirror, and she's hunched over there. Oh, man, I just miss her so much. So, yeah, it was a rough day yesterday. Supposed to have 2 full gas canisters in my backpack, and I only have 1. So, grilled cheese sandwiches may be going to the wayside for this trip. But you know what? In the midst of grief, they say you should give yourself some grace, and I'm going to do that. But what a beautiful trip. And the wildflowers, actually it's kind of nice we had the 2 weeks off, because they've gotten some rain and snow over here. But the wildflowers are blooming.
Well, last year I was walking this piece of the trail, and I didn't get any video of it, mainly because I forgot to bring the charging cord to all of my batteries that I brought. So I brought batteries, and I brought all the stuff I needed to take video and all that garbage, but I couldn't charge any of it. This is a really long chunk for us. We're doing Basically, we're doing a 9-day stretch right here, and it's a long piece. It's pretty. Gosh, we're later this year than I was last year, and as a consequence, there's more flowers, more wildflowers blooming. Plus, it rained. They had apparently a lot of rain here, and man, I tell you what. It's grass all over the place, wildflowers blooming. It's beautiful. Yeah, boy, I tell you what, this country's steep. My, oh my. You know, you're from Idaho and you think, oh man, we got mountains, we got all kinds of stuff. I'll tell you what, they got mountains in Arizona too. It's not a joke. They got serious mountains in Arizona.
Good morning. Here we are, second day of the Mazatzals. We had a big climb yesterday, and I had a sick stomach. It was not good. And so it was a rough day. We didn't do a lot of filming, but I tell you what, it's such a pretty spot. Look at this. And red rock. Just really cool red rock with little cactus gardens in it.
Tell them about the horned toad.
Yeah, we saw a little, not even little, I mean, he's as big as long as your hand, horned toad, and he was just red as the rocks. It was really cool. We are coming up on our halfway mark, really, of miles for the trail. That's pretty exciting. And yesterday, a lot of the hike was just, it's been burnt, recovering well, but a lot of just like chaparral kind of stuff, big open views, which is nice. And then there's the little timbered areas here and there, which is what we're walking through this morning. And it's beautiful. Here we are off on, this is actually day 45 of hiking. Look at this new hat. It's a solar reflector hat. NASA technology, woo! Today I was having one of those mornings of, Jimmy Christmas, why am I doing this? This is so miserable. You know what? Through hiking is one of those deals where you got to make it through that part. I heard this bit of advice that was, don't quit on a bad day. You know what? I think that's really good advice. And to know you'll have bad days, that's probably good too. And here we are, slogging up the hill. Notice I've gotten in enough shape that I can almost film going uphill. I suppose that's a, hey, look at that.
There you go, have a seat in your throne. There you go.
Look at this. Oh.
I think it's marble, looks like a marble rock.
A marble throne. This is it. She-Ra, Princess of Power.
Sitting in her throne. Yeah.
You know
now,
what? Look at the view.
And what you don't know is we got to go over there.
Oh, and it looks steep.
On that mountain.
Wow, that looks steep.
Woo-hoo-hoo. You're crazy. Why do you even want to do this? I was shot when we got into camp. I basically couldn't even help set up the tent or none of the stuff. I mean, I was just...
I thought I had overdone my Sherpa.
You almost had overdone your Sherpa, yeah.
It was a rough day yesterday.
Big, tall, huge. I mean, we climbed from way the heck down there up onto this mountain.
Yeah.
No, we did a lot of good work yesterday. We did good work yesterday. It was hard, and we did it well.
Yes, we did. And today is a better day.
If you look over there, that super flat ground at the very far horizon, way over there, that is what's called the Magellan Rim. Once we get there, which is not that far, honestly, once we get over there, it gets to be a lot easier. It's flat, pretty much all of it is flat, all the way clear to the Grand Canyon. Almost all of it's flat. And it's all pine trees, and it's all flat ground, and it's all pine needles on the trail where you have soft things instead of rocks to step on.
I feel like one of those Oregon Trail people going to the promised land.
It's right there. It's just right there.
So we're at our water source. We had a nice lunch. Honey Badger and I just got our shirts wet and everything else because it is warm. And we have a little bit of a, I think we have 4 miles left.
3.5.
3.5 miles left to our camp. So we're getting it done today.
Pretty neat. This is called the Mazatzal Divide. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little tough to see, but you probably can just see back there those big old peaks there. That's called Mazatzal Mountain. And before the day is over, we are going to hike up there into that little saddle right there. It's called the Bear Saddle. There's a spring about a half mile farther down the way there, or we could get water, but I'm hoping we see some along the way here. You're gonna have to walk a half a mile off the trail. Doing pretty good this morning. Oh man, had a rough, hard end of the day yesterday. Sort of difficult, but we survived it. And what are we doing around here there, She-Ra, Princess of Power?
I kind of have a hot spot on my bottom of my foot. I'm going to tape it up, and I don't want to get blistered.
You know, I don't think you've had a single blister, have you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you know,
What have we done? 21 miles in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's rough. This is rough country. It's steep and hard to
And
walk.
a lot of it really rocky.
Some of
That's
it's,
the part
it
that-
is. Some of it's real rocky. Some of it's really good too. I mean, it's kind of hard. So you might be every 100 yards into a different kind of trail.
You want to scooch here and I'll get your little Gerber out.
Oh, you want to get the Gerber? Okay, get my Gerber. Well, that's kind of what we're doing today. Pretty exciting, you know, getting out hiking. You know, this is a niche. This is a niche thing, you know. Honestly, who wants to do this kind of thing? You gotta be a little bit niche to even be out here doing this at all. I've always kind of been a little bit interested in that whole ultra running thing, but I don't know, you know, if I got that in me or not. We'd have to see. We don't got it in me today, I can tell you that. Today, we're just gonna take it easy. I'm gonna sit down right here and watch She-Ra put tape on her foot.
Mazatzal's, man, I tell you what, I personally have had a whooping the last 2 days. We did 10 miles the first day. It was so hard because it was a lot of elevation gain. And yesterday was just rough. So I've got this deal, you know, where you go, I've heard some hiking advice. Don't quit on a bad day. You need to work through the bad day, get to where it's better, then make a rational decision to do whatever you do, you know? I think that's some pretty good advice in life. And I think really, I kind of started it out, this whole section, just feeling a little done with through hiking. And we're coming up on 400 miles. So, and training on the trail, you know, I have just really had to dig deep and work hard for what I've had, and it's it's really hard. So I think some of the things I'm learning is just, hard is not to be confused with bad, because just because it's hard doesn't mean it's bad. And hard can bring good things. I keep thinking I'll be 64 in just a few days, actually, and really, I can't think of a better way to be investing in my physical future for the older part of life here than doing something like this. It's hard, but man, I'm so much stronger. And the mental discipline is really good too, Grandpa Brown, my dad's dad, he always had a saying that old age is not for sissies. And, I can see going into older life, it's going to be a challenge. Lots of times when you're young, you're just get by on your strength. And yeah, so I think it's good. It's good. And you know what? It's beautiful. I've got to just take time to look around me and just and glory in my accomplishment. 400 miles, I would have never believed that. Saying we met a guy yesterday. He's a triple crowner, which basically means that he has walked all the big trails, PCT, AT, and the Continental Divide. And he said that the Arizona Trail is a real challenge. I'm like, makes me feel good. I might be old, but we're doing it, and it's good. And there's my buddy. Never could have done it without him. Afternoon of day 3 in the Mazatzals, and it is so beautiful. Wow, you guys have got to see this. It's like little rocks and a cactus garden. So cool. So we're hiking basically along this ridge. We've got 8 tents left to a place that they call the Saddle and Camp sites. I tell you what, see that little campsite right over there? The crazy thing about the terrain here is it is rough to find a place to camp. We have a 2-man tent, so it's quite a deal. So we're in the Mazatzals, and right here you can see
the
over
next
into
6 days we're gonna walk.
out through all those mountains, those peaks.
Over there.
Yep.
Right there. And then if you look over here, you see just the edge of Roosevelt Lake. We'll end up clear down there. That's crazy to see all of that.
Oh, it's such a beautiful view from up here. Beautiful view. So if you've been following along, you know that I'm hiking the trail in memory of my mom. And today is the 6-month mark since she passed. And I woke up this morning. This is a beautiful full moon setting in a pink sunset. And I'm in this just spectacularly rugged, this is so rugged and beautiful area. And I just, you know what? Nothing more appropriate to remember my mom today. She would have loved it. She would have absolutely loved it. And she'd love it that I'm here. And I'm getting it done. Yesterday, I think was I'm really close. I'm either right at or really close to 400 miles. Yesterday, I was having the 400-mile blues. Whew, it was a rough day. But you know what? Today, I woke up and I thought, man, this is why we do this. You got to make it past that stuff so you can do this stuff. Through hiking. It's a challenge, but very good. I love it. Beautiful day. We get a little bit of cloud cover. Oh, I mean, I'm feeling special.
You know, in a way, this is kind of like the pinnacle of the Arizona Trail. This is like it's like one of the best spots. It's also one of the most difficult spots. It's also the spot that's hardest to access. The last 3 days we've been going up, and this is the first day now that we get to go down, and it's good. I just was thinking about this, very nearly at the halfway point of this whole trail. So She-Ra has hiked half of the blooming Arizona Trail at this point, and she's on some of the worst of it right now, you know, what I call the pinnacle, you know. She's now at the point of losing her second pair of pants. The first pair fell off. The first pair fell off about 200 miles ago. And now we're getting ready to lose the second pair. She's walking her butt off, basically, literally. How do you like these cactuses? I don't know if you can see, just blooming. We're gonna get into a whole lot of this shortly. Beautiful cactus walk. But anyway, and I just was thinking, you know, I mean, she's still got lots of fluff. You know, she's definitely built like a grandma still, doing good. But I tell you what, she's a tough cookie underneath all that fluff. There's no question about it. You know what, we ain't doing too bad for the shape we're in. And like my granddad used to say, I'm not half the man I used to be. In fact, I never was. The reason we're doing these YouTube videos, basically, is long after we're gone, grandkids, or the kids, or the great-grandkids for that matter, you know, people that never really had a chance to get to know us, will get to hear stuff like that, you know, things about my grandfather and stuff. And so that's why we're doing this. We've got cactuses blooming. We've got shin prickers growing in there. Under that tree, you got ferns happening. There's a nice little, that's a pine tree right there, actually growing on. What do you call that? That's an agave, I think this thing is here.
Look at a little agave right there, too.
And look at this little kind of agave going on, like down in there. Check that out. And look down here, underneath the trail. You got more going on down here. This is a blooming cactus garden. I mean, undoubtedly a cactus garden. Well, kids, take a look at that. Take a look at that. What a beautiful, beautiful place back there. Now we just come through all that country right there. He was over there for lunch yesterday, right in that saddle. Can't see Mazatzal Peak anymore. We basically hiked out around behind all of these things, and out here, and then across this, and then all the way around this. And here we are. It's pretty cool. Actually neat. This is a beautiful, beautiful place, honestly. We've been discussing amongst ourselves which of these places we like the best, you know, the passages. Oh man, look at that, those vultures up there. Turkey vultures, they're flying in thermals. I wish I had my paraglider. Oh no. Anyway, we were discussing which one of these was best. And what we decided was, Honey Badger thinks this one's best of all, and that's her opinion. Granny, aka Doc, aka She-Ra, she thinks that this is in the top 5 or 6, so she hasn't saying yet. And of course, I'm the only one in the whole bunch that's been down and up and in and out of the Grand Canyon. And so that's probably mine, you know. My guess is they will change their mind when they get to that point.
Well, here we are at the really end of the Mazatzal Divide Trail, headed towards a place they call Sunflower. And look at this sign. This is amazing. Right there, if you could see it, it says we are 404 miles from Mexico, 396 from Utah. You basically are at the halfway point. Now, I got a little catch up to do on the downside, but really, with what I've done up north, I think I'm about halfway, which is pretty awesome. Really awesome, actually. Just had a little break beside the trail.
I've been looking for years.
Black one.
Oh yeah, they come in lots of colors.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there you go. Hike in the desert. Saw my first Arizona rattlesnake yesterday. Was pretty excited about that. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But of course, as we get lower and as the week goes by, the temperature's going up, you know. As the week goes by, the temperature's rising. And as we get lower, the temperature's rising. So we could well be in rattlesnake territory today. Wouldn't surprise me. Truth is I was super surprised to see the rattlesnake where I did. Darn thing was, it was in a kind of a shady, grassy, brushy, big tall trees kind of spot. You wouldn't have thought it. But there it was, right there at the edge of the trail. Old honey badger was hiking with her. She heard the thing. She heard it, and but she couldn't see it, you know. She just didn't know where it was. And I caught up with her, and she's looking around trying to see where it is so she doesn't get bit. And turns out it's way down the trail. He was making a buzz way down the way. That thing was black. I mean, that snake was so black. Did not look like what you're thinking of gonna see, you know. Anyway, so I've only ever seen 3 wild rattlesnakes. So now one of them's black. The other one's kind of like that tan brown color you'd expect to see. And then the other one was green, like kind of like grass, you know, grassy green. So who knows? They seem to come in a variety of colors, and you wonder if they just sort of adapt to their environment, you know. Anywho, that's what we got going on around here today. Tell you what, I'm already tired. It's only 7 in the morning. It's gonna be a day, I think.
I've got Sherpa Babes on snake patrol for me. And he has been wanting to see a snake in Arizona, a rattlesnake. Ooh, I smell a skunk. And he just did yesterday. And I didn't have to. I'm really glad about that. So yesterday was a record personal best day for me. I did 40 miles in 4 days, which was pretty awesome. And yeah, now we just have to make it out to Sunflower. So things are going well. It's hard. We haven't slept well the last couple nights, and that makes it even harder. Good afternoon from the Arizona Trail. We are within 2 miles of finishing up the section of the Mazatzals. The hard part is that my knee is It's not really my knee, it's my leg. On my bad knee side, my leg. Feels like I've got like maybe a pulled hamstring or some sort of faldera that is just, it's not settling around. So, getting into late April and it's getting so hot. And as much as I really, really don't want to, after talking it over, I don't even want to say it, darn it. But we're gonna skip the Four Peaks, take a few days off, or whatever my leg needs to get settled around. Because the problem is that this country is so steep and so rocky, and it's just not smart to push it. So, to all of my offspring, your grandmother is one of those cowgirl up and just get it done types. And thank goodness I married your grandfather, who's slightly more sensible. And he said, you know what? You're getting past my risk tolerance. We need to make a smart decision. And I was thinking, you know what hurts worst? I mean, the thing that, for me that's hard is, you know, I didn't think I'd be able to do the whole trail. And then I got to the point where it's like, oh, I've got like, you know, 150 miles. And then I know I've got this thing in the bag. And I'm getting taken out right at that spot. And it's just like super disappointing.